This episode of the Rogue Deck Builder is brought to you by MTGOtraders.com, the official trading bot service of the Rogue Deck Builder. For huge selection and lowest prices around on Magic the Gathering online cards, visit MTGOtraders.com. Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com with match number 3 with our Shadows of Innistrad inspired Pauper Vampire Tribal deck. Yes, we like to play first. This is a very keepable hand. We have a 1-drop into a 2-drop. Or a 1-drop into two 1-drops is how I'll probably end up doing it. So we'll just start out here with the Vampire Lacerator and pass the turn. We have a Tyrant Choice to follow up for that last bit of damage to get us under that 10 life, to get the Cold Blade larger. And see if we're going up against Delver. Delver's usually the kind of the bad boy of the Pauper format. I think I actually like to play against Delver. The card advantage is pretty good. Fairy Miscreant's pretty decent if he has another one in hand, or just to get his ninja out next turn. We have no way to block it, so I'm going to lose a life here. And I think we will just, yeah, it's going to be the 2 1-drops here, but I'm going to go ahead and attack in with the Vampire Lacerator. And he'll take the 2 damage. And then there's a Gruuldraw's Vampire as well as the Quag Vampire. So next turn we'll be swinging in for 4. And then I can Tyrant Choice him. Unfortunately, we have no way to block the Fairy Miscreant, so we're probably going to get hit by a ninja here. And that seems to be the case. But if he does hit us with a ninja, then we can get in there for the 4 damage. So there's ninja that draws him a card. We'll put out the Ruthless Coldblade and swing in for 4 next turn. So hopefully we can get in for the last bit of damage. The counter spells are a very real threat. There's another Vampire Lacerator. I still think the Coldblade's more powerful at this point. So here's the 4. Cast the Ruthless Coldblade. Don't know if we actually make this block. I don't think we do on the ninja. I hate to give him more card advantage. Because it's just lethal. Let's see. Is it lethal? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's just lethal next turn if we actually can get the Tyrant's Choice off. He likes all the cards on top of his library, so the worst case scenario is he Vapor Snags the Ruthless Coldblade. There's a Delver that gives him a blocker. And a Fairy Miscreant. Okay. So I wonder if he's going to come in with the ninja. No, he does not. Alright, so Bump doesn't quite take him down to where I want to be. It's going to be the Tyrant's Choice for 4. Unless he has like a Gush or not a Gush, a Daze. Doesn't matter how they vote, this card is always going to be in our favor. And he's going to have to lose probably a Delver and a Fairy Miscreant. Probably a Ninja as well this turn. I don't think he can take much more damage. He could have Gushes. Can't block the Intimidator. But we will swing in with everything. And he'll block on the Cold Blade. Be very surprised, yeah, if he doesn't block another one. Goes down to a 5, which is pretty good because if we draw another land, we just kill him next turn with the bump and the Tyrant's Choice. Not quite sure what he can do here with just the fairy. Miscreant. I mean, the Quicksand's annoying. It gives a creature -1, -2, which can kill the Gruldaw's Vampire. But he's going to tap it for a Spire Golem, which can now block the Vampire and survive, because Intimidate cannot get through that. But we'll just try a bump. And we'll do another bump. So he's got to have like a daze. The Force Spike, okay. So Force Spike works. Can't pay for it. We could make him lose a Fairy Miscreant, but I think we just pass the turn. We have the Tyrant's Choice next turn. Because this cannot, unfortunately, bust through. He's down to that 2. I hate that this is kind of been the theme with this deck, is we're getting him down to 1, 2, 3 damage, and then it's hard to finish off the game. So he has 4 cards in hand. The Delver deck is very good about chaining a lot of spells on one turn. I mean, he's got the Quicksand that can kill off the Vampire. So he can safely attack in with one of these and get out another Ninja. We've killed 2 of his good cards, though. So he's going to come with the Miscreant, and it's gonna be a Ninja again that comes out. So he does find the second Ninja. I'd hate to have another Force Spike. Yeah, because now I can use the Quicksand. But if he uses the Quicksand and blocks, I mean, he couldn't have Deprive, he could have Mana Leak. I almost just want to go Pulse Tracker and Vampire Lacerator. Just leave up that Tyrant's Choice, but at the same time, I just might go for it. We bait out the Quicksand, does that do anything? Maybe for like a Mana Leak? I just hate to give him more. Yeah, we're just going to pass and put out the Pulse Tracker and the Vampire Lacerator. So we'll do a Vampire Lacerator. See if he gets countered. There's Essence Scatters that are quite popular. And there's the Spell Stutter Sprite, which is very annoying. So the Tyrant's Choice would not have been able to get countered, unfortunately. That does. But the Pulse Tracker is kind of nice, though, here. So we pass the turn to him. We will block the Ninja if he attacks with the Ninja. He's going to preordain. Eventually we should draw or be able to cast his Tyrant's Choice. I'm just hoping he taps out. Yeah, we'll block the Ninja for sure. Fortunately, we draw another land. Again, it's just kind of pointless to run into a counterspell. Alright, so he snags it back. And we'll cast it. See if another Spell Stutter Right comes out. Okay, that should be game then. Unless he's got a Gush. Or a Daze, excuse me. All right. Woo! Barely pulled that one out. I think that... I wish I had the non... isn't there a land that does -1/1? I think if I had threshold to all creatures. Let Trickery is definitely going to come in here. I don't know if Guess Verdict is actually good enough. I think it is. We'll bring in the Guess Verdict. We could just try to go a bunch of these like Hideous End type cards. I don't think we're ever going to get value out of this Vampiric Fury in this match. Morsel Theft's fine. The Tyrant's Choice is still great, as it does 4 damage. The Shadow Alley Denizen gives Intimidate, so I think it's just better than like the Quag Vampires, but I do like to have like an early 1/1 out, other than they can get just stopped in their tracks. So I'm not sure if we need the Hideous Ends. I mean, it's removal with the upside of 2 damage, instant speed. Soul Reap is sorcerer speed. This is probably a card that we should end up cutting for sure. Haven't seen the Tron matchup. I think that the Choking Sense is very well against that. So we need to cut 4 cards. It's probably just going to be the Quag Vampires is what I consider. They're probably the weak link, even though they are rogues. I still think the Vampire Lacerator is a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and submit this. Got pretty lucky by not having too many lands last game. This is one of those deck. We're going to keep it. I don't like to start with 3 lands, so if we draw 1 more land, it pretty much is dead. But with the Bump in the Nights, those are good flashback cards. There's a Delver. I can't even do anything against a Delver. I think that we will just throw out a Pulse Tracker. It's the... Yeah, that was what I was not hoping to see as another land off the top. Let's go Shadow Alley Denizen. Hopefully the Delver just doesn't blind flip. It does not. Okay, so it's either creature or land. If he attacks the Delver, I 100% will block it. There's another Delver. And he does not block. So at this point, we'll go a Caves and a Pulse Tracker. And he's going to Force Spike a Pulse Tracker. But I think I attack in for sure. Double Delver's rough because they're both 3/2s that are going to be hard for me to deal with. If they flip. And they do flip. So Counterspell's the revealed card. I don't know if I can beat the double Delver draw. It's insanely powerful. So taking 6, not going to ninja anything back. He's just going to hold up Counterspell mana. So another Tyrant's Choice. I think we just continue to... No, here I think we play a land here, and I'm going to play the Ruthless Coldblade, and he'll counter it. I'm surprised he did that. But I highly doubt you can erase the double Delver. We need like Guess Verdicts. But I'll bump him. This will probably be counterspelled. No, he just lets that go too. Yeah, I'm on a very quick clock here, just 3 turns. Rakdos Gilligate is rough. I don't think we can draw another land and have any chance. Taking 6. Unfortunately, we can't get him down that life total here unless we draw like another bump. But if he's smart, he just holds up the counter magic and kills me in 2 turns. Fairy Miscreant also acts as a blocker. Yeah, there's the Swamp. We'll cast both of them. He can actually get a Spell Stutter spread out here. Just counterspell. And we'll do another one. He'll block. I'm sure he'll block through this Cold Blade here. Getting down to a 10, we'd have to, like, really hit. No, there's nothing I can draw here. Literally nothing I can draw. He just attacks him with both of them. And, yeah, you can keep back the Spire Golem. Hideous End would have been nice. We can get him down to pretty close to lethal, but we'd have to have double removal for the Delver, and we don't. So, plus he probably has one more counterspell in hand. We need to go first, though. That is the rough hand to deal with. Still don't think Soul... Maybe Soul Reap is good here. No, because we'd have to cast another black spell. The more I look at this card, the more I hate it. So I think that... Yeah, we don't change anything here. We'll submit this. Close games, though. I think this deck with a little bit more fine-tuning will be better. I think we're too obsessed with the vampire theme. I don't know how well the Trumpet Blast, the Vampiric Fury, or Vampire Fury, whatever the card's called, is actually worth it. The two mana, though, with one of those games, it did an insane amount of mana, or damage. The first strike's also relevant, but I don't know. I think that there could be a better slot there for like either another creature. Or, I think I can't go the burn route if I'm going to go the Vampiric or the Trumpet Blast type card. I'd want as many cards out as possible. And I've just kind of weakened the deck by having a low creature count. I think that possibly just even Lightning Bolt in here for the Quag Vampires would be smart. Trying to get Morsel Theft, trying to jam through Morsel Theft, I also think isn't the right line to play. But I still have a Fairy Rogue build that I think is going to work a lot better because it works more tempo-based. Pepper Smoke is amazing. Morsel Theft, Pepper Smoke, cards like Recoil. You have access to some really cool, actually, counterspell cards in black and blue that I think are worthwhile. And I'll have to show you that out when we start. And plus, I think after Shadows of Registrad, this deck can also be updated and have a few good more vampires. All right, yes, I like to play first. This is absolutely horrid. Is it, though? I'm going to keep it. I don't like the amount of lands here. He snap kept his. But we have our first turn Vampire Lacerator, which is good. And then a second turn Cold Blade. Just don't have a Delver. I don't know if I can race a Delver. This might have been a mulligan, but this is good. If we get any bump in the nights, this is actually pretty good. So it's just a preordained, so we're going to get in it for at least 2. So I take a damage. There's a nice card. We can put in, comes into play tap land. They do the exact same thing, basically. No, it's still going to be Ruthless. And he's going to take some damage here. So, most likely he'll put out a 1-drop. No, he's going to leave up counterspell mana. One of these might get snagged. You can actually flash in a fairy just to kill something. Yeah. So I actually think I'm going to cast both here. Since I happen to draw into another land, of course. So we'll torture him. and get out a vampire. But unfortunately, our hand is full of these useless Rakdos Guild Gates. Yeah, maybe I should have just stuck with mono black, and it would have made the consistency of this deck a little bit better. We could have gone down in the land count. Quicksand is rough. And we draw another land, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and attack in still. He'll kill off probably the Gruul draws vampire. He could actually spell Spruce Right and kill the other one as well. We need to draw bumps. They're extremely good because they're in the flashback range now. Yep, thought that was coming. But he's down to a 10. He still hasn't really done much. That cost him a land to do that too. There's a Delver. Let's just not draw a land. He'll take the damage, go to an 8. And this is most likely going to get counterspelled. Can't spell Sputter Stride it, though. There's the counterspell. Alright, so we need this Delver not to flip. And he reveals the Spellstutter Sprite, too, so that wasn't a good reveal. There's a Spire Golem, so you can attack him with the Delver. I'm surprised he didn't attack him with the Delver there, actually. So we need to draw into the Destroy a Creature. Or Bump. Bump is great. So close again. Don't flip. A Ponder. So we'll be able to set up his next 3 cards. Unfortunately, the Sprite can counter the Bump in the Night. Still has 4 cards in his hand. And now he's going to start swinging in with the Delver. So a Hideous End would be perfect. Electrickery is terrible now. I'm not... Yes, we just flash it back. Get it out of his hand. He'll actually just counterspell it. Okay. I think right there is where he used the Spellstutter Sprite, because its only converted mana cost is 1. But he can just temple me out quite easily. Hopefully we don't draw into another land. He's going to come in with both. Just the Spire Golem he's going to come in with. He's going to ninja it back. So he's going to go for the tempo route. Huh. So if we draw into another Electrickery, that's not bad. We'll go Lacerator. Does he just block with a Fairy Miscreant if I... don't elect Trickery? We'll see what happens here. Okay, that's surprising. I'm okay with that. Definitely okay with that. But he can counter-elect Trickery if I'm not careful. I'd rather just wait for it in my hand, though. The attacks with Mr. Ninja I block. Might have another ninja in his hand. That's why he's using the Fairy Miscreant, so I guess. Nope. Alright, so that ninja's dead. Ninja and a Delver down. He can cast his 2/4 again, though. And he's going to smartly just keep up the Sprite. Alright, let's bait it out, though. He'll counter it. He's thinking. Awesome. So we'll overload this. It kills both his fairies. And our thing does not get countered. That was a nice little 2-for-1. But he still has the Spire Golem. I think he's got to keep it back. No, now he doesn't. So I'm down to a 9. Still 3 cards in our opponent's hand. Shadow Alley Denizen's fine. Intimidate's actually quite weak. Just pass the turn here. Think we might just get tempoed out. We need a Morsel Theft. Or for him just to draw into a string of lands. Bone Splitter, that's rough. And he's equipping it. See if he tries to go for like just a attack with both of them. No, he's going to attack with the 1. We haven't drawn a land in quite a while, which is the good news. Bad news is we're dead on board next turn unless we draw something good here. Well, we're going to go for it. Hope he doesn't have a counterspell somehow. He's used 2 of them. And there's a 3rd counterspell. Alright, so close games again. Get him down to the 3. Just so close. Just barely missing that last bit of damage. I think... oh, there's a Morsel Theft. Morsel Theft would have been nice if we would have had it in our hand rather than one of these other cards. Yeah, the Prowl is incredibly powerful with this. Would have got countered, though, if it would have been besides the Tyrant's Choice. If we would have had one less of these lands, we wouldn't be able to flashback the Bump in the Night, and he would have had another counterspell. I think, overall, I think the deck did pretty well. Just right there to being competitive. Anyway, this has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.